Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch. And today, People magazine is reporting that insiders say that Chris Watts wants to withdraw his guilty plea. He's talked to attorneys. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Scott Reisch. For those of you who don't know, I am a practicing criminal defense attorney and have done so for nearly 25 years. We started this channel because we didn't like the way the news media was reporting on crime issues. So we started this channel to provide more explanation from somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. So today, we find that People magazine is reporting in their exclusive that insiders close to Chris Watts say that Chris Watts wants to withdraw his guilty plea. And for those who don't know, Chris Watts pled guilty to killing his pregnant wife and 2 young daughters and was ultimately sentenced to multiple life sentences. In exchange for those guilty pleas, the prosecution did not proceed with the death penalty. Now, we have previous videos where we talked about this particular case, and as a criminal defense attorney, I never would have allowed a client to plead guilty straight up to all charges because, frankly, the death penalty is all but gone here in the state of Colorado. Second of all, I've stated in previous videos, this case proceeded too quickly. Not enough answers were allowed to come out, and everyone was kind of left hanging there as to what really happened. Third, this is not surprising what Chris Watts is doing. He is 33 years old, and he is sitting in prison for the rest of his life. He has 24 hours a day to sit and think about why he is there. He apparently has photos, which we've talked about in previous videos, of the victims, which is just weird and creepy and usually not allowed. But apparently Wisconsin is allowing him to keep those photographs up. And he, according to the People magazine article, states that he thinks that there's further mitigation that should have been brought out as it relates to why he killed his family. Now, he admitted to killing his family. He pled guilty. I can tell you, Chris Watts has about 0% chance of withdrawing his guilty plea. So let me explain why. Under Colorado Rules of Criminal Procedure, Rule 32D, withdraw of plea of guilty or nolo contendere, a motion to withdraw a plea of guilty or nolo contendere may be made only before sentence is imposed or imposition of sentence is suspended. What does that mean? If Chris Watts wanted to withdraw his guilty plea, he should have done it before he was sentenced and the judgment was imposed. Can Chris Watts withdraw his guilty plea? Absolutely not. Can Chris Watts appeal his sentence based upon his guilty plea? No, he cannot. Chris Watts cannot appeal his sentence because you have to file a notice of appeal within 45 days of the date that you're sentenced. Chris Watts did none of that. The appellate courts have no jurisdiction. His only remedy is to turn to Colorado Rules of Criminal Procedure, Rule 35C, post-conviction relief. And basically what he would have to allege is that his plea was obtained unconstitutionally, which really would amount to he would have to assert ineffective assistance of counsel. Well, what does that mean? We know when Chris Watts gave his interview in Wisconsin to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Frederick Police Department in February, that he admitted he told his attorneys everything and that it was his decision to plead guilty. All right? Additionally, once you raise the allegation of ineffective assistance of counsel, that can amount to a waiver of the attorney-client privilege, and anything that Chris Watts said to his attorneys, they would be forced to testify to in court to say why they allowed him to plead guilty, because it was ultimately his decision, that he pled guilty of his own free will and no one forced him or coerced him to do anything along those lines. So, do I think that will happen? No. Chris Watts is probably talking to people. He's sitting around. He's probably getting a lot of jailhouse lawyers telling him what to do because he met somebody in jail who knew somebody who had a brother who had a case just like this once, and everything worked out his way. So why don't you try it? Chris Watts is probably getting real bad legal advice. Early on, I've stated this, he should never have pled guilty that quickly because it didn't allow the process. I've seen it. I've seen these type of cases over the years. Defendants, when I get the case over with, then they start having buyer's remorse because they sit there and they think about it and, wow, life is a really long time, and they have no purpose now. And so now their new purpose is going to be, how do I get a new trial? Probably has family members saying you should go for it, it wasn't fair, etc. I get it. But you know what? They didn't listen to the people at the time. And frankly, had they talked to me about it or they'd come here, I would never have let him do that if I was his attorney. Now, if somebody came to me, I would tell him to save your money. Unless you want me to go through this, bring me a large retainer, say $150,000, and we'll go through it and we'll see if there's anything there. My guess is there's nothing there, and he should save his money and he should get used to prison life. That's Crime Talk for today. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Leave a comment. Hit that little bell so that you get notifications of new videos and new times that when we go live. Leave a comment. Do you think Chris Watts should attempt to withdraw his guilty plea, or should he just get comfortable in prison? Let me know. Chris Watts may be in jail trying to think about ways to get out, but that's probably not going to happen. Do you think that we should send him a Crime Talk mug so that he can sip away and make life just a little more comfortable? Let me know. Leave a comment.